It's the End Zone post-game show coming out of Alabama and Georgia. I'm TJ Eckert. That's Kevin Ward from the Sports Animal. Kevin, appreciate you joining us.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Man, and you got to come in on a great night. What an ending to that Bama-Georgia game, huh?
Like an old Big 12 game broke out. Over 70 points, 1,000 yards. What in the world?
It used to be not cool when the Big 12 did it, but the SEC does it. It's a great thing, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah. Fun game to watch there. We're talking OU, OSU, Tulsa. A really busy night in college football for us as well.
Yeah. Oh, and what a day. The Oklahoma game, Sooner Magic. Could it be back?
It could be.
Could it be?
It could be. Let's talk about the OU game first. Got to start there, right? Maybe one of the most improbable wins by anybody, not just this season, but in recent memory. OU went to Auburn without their top 5 wide receivers, started a true freshman QB in Michael Hawkins for the first time, then found themselves down 11 midway through the fourth. With the game on the line, there it is. The Sooner defense doing what they've done all season, making a play when they need it most. Kip Lewis, a 63-yard pick six with just over 4 minutes left. Hawkins, a moment of his own on the ensuing 2-point try. And the Sooners found some magic, as Kevin says, on the road, beating the Tigers 27-21. One more look here at Hawkins flipping in the end zone. Sam Bradford-esque, if you say so myself. Here's what Brent Venables had to say afterwards.
Well, that was the first experience at Sooner Magic as a head coach. Boy, was that an amazing last 4 drives for offense and defense. Great example of kind of sticking together.
When asked about Michael Hawkins' performance, Venables said, quote, "He went into the Tigers' den and was fearless." Good stuff there. What'd you think about the Sooners' performance there today in Auburn?
Well, first off, 2 games in a row with a Hawkins flip, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess
yeah.
I scored him a 10 on that.
That's good.
I like the infusion of a new quarterback who's got a skill set that's different than the previous starter.
Sure.
I mean, they had to have it. Honestly, I was calling for a change in the Houston game. I thought they needed something different there.
Yeah.
Maybe Tennessee could have been different had Hawkins been the starter at the beginning of that game.
Sure. Talking about the spark that he provided, take a look at some of the video from today's game there against the Tigers. Hawkins obviously making his first start. First true freshman QB to make his first start on the road since Troy Aikman. Cool stat there. And he did pretty well. Obviously, this touchdown run here on the first drive of the game kind of got Sooner fans fired up. They didn't do much for a while after that, Kevin. And then finally, how about this? This is Hawkins connecting with J.J. Hester. They didn't have any wideouts healthy. 5 guys out. J.J. Hester, the former Booker T. Hornet, making arguably the best play of the game up to that point to get the offense going again.
Well, and it's nice to see them throw the ball downfield.
Yes.
That's been part of the offense that's been missing for a lot of people. And to see Hawkins to be able to maneuver around the pocket just like he did right there, find a little gap. There he goes with the Hawkins flip into the end zone. I just love what he brings to this offense, and they kept it very conservative all game long.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He didn't turn the ball over, which was great. Really only put himself in harm's way on the 2-point try right there. That was about the only time he did anything like that. 14 carries for 69 yards and a TD there for Hawkins. Obviously, this big one right here as well. Javonte Barnes looked good, too. He had 18 carries, 61 yards, and the score, too. That was nice to see.
Only 2 guys carried the ball all day for the Sooners. That's incredible stat in itself.
We just named them right there, yeah. Okay, so obviously we talked about the offense there. Did a great job down the stretch, made the plays when they needed to. But, Kevin, the defense has really been what's been carrying OU up to this point. They played okay, I think, by Brent Venables' standards, but made the plays late when they needed to.
Yeah, still gave up almost 500 yards of offense, and here you can see the quarterback. He went deep a couple of times, burned that secondary for the Sooners. I don't know where Danny Stutzman was, though, today.
Sure.
I don't know if he was playing a little injured or what was going on with him. He only had 4 tackles. Yeah,
it was a little interesting from him. Peyton Thorne played well early, and we was just kind of wait until the guy makes a mistake. They had 5 turnovers. In their last loss to Arkansas, led the country or tied for the lead in the country in turnovers given up. Obviously, OU, one of the best in the country in forcing turnovers. Here's the final few plays. We were talking about earlier. R. Mason Thomas, man, just steps up when he's needed. He did that in the Houston game. You referenced that. And then he made basically the game-sealing sack there. Robert Spears-Jennings had a nice play as well, former Broken Arrow Tiger, so that was good to see, too.
Yeah, really good to see the local guys, coming in and playing well and making some plays for Oklahoma.
So OU goes to Auburn, picks up their first ever SEC win in their first ever SEC road game as well. Anything else jump out to you that we haven't hit on?
Well, they've never lost to Auburn.
That's true.
And they're 2-0 lifetime games in Alabama.
Oh, there you go.
So how about that?
And they'll go to Alabama next year. against the Crimson Tide.
That's right.
So that would be good there.
Yes.
Final thought from me, there's still a lot of glaring issues here, right? They're getting covered up by a win. But when you go on the road, you have to find ways to win games. That's exactly what they did. So that was good to see. All right, let's switch gears here and let's talk about Oklahoma State, man. Not great. It was not what you wanted to see at all there in Manhattan. They went up there last time and got beat by 50, basically. Got shut out. Similar thing happened here. Go to roll some video here. Pokes losing 42-20. What went wrong there in Manhattan, Kevin?
Well, first off, Bowman throws almost as many incompletions as he did completions.
Yeah, right. That's bad.
He was 26 of 50 throwing the football, so he did make some good plays. The problem is the offense just didn't generate enough points, and this obviously today was a defensive issue for the Cowboys.
6 losses the last 2 years combined, 4 of those by 20 or more. I mentioned it on social media. When the game script goes wrong, it goes really wrong for Mike Gundy and company. You mentioned the running game still struggling. Ollie Gordon had 15 carries for 76 yards. Had a couple big bursts in the first half, and then they really couldn't get him going later in the game, which was interesting to see. Dazon Stribling was a highlight, had 7 catches, 157 yards, and a TD. But I mentioned it, whenever the game script goes kind of awry, it starts to look bad for Mike Gundy and the Pokes.
Well, it's interesting going into the season, you had supposedly the best running back in the country behind the best offensive line in the country, and neither one of those have panned out. And the fact that Gordon rushes for 76 yards, and everybody's like, oh, he had a good day.
Yeah.
Well, that was a terrible day last year.
That's right.
So
Exactly right.
I don't know what the answer is, but they've got to get that running game going somehow.
Quarterback play has been an issue. OSU fans are calling for Zane Flores. Garrett Rangel came in the last game. They don't like him. They want Zane Flores to play. Mike Gundy was asked afterwards why he didn't switch QBs. Here's his answer.
I don't think that's what's best at times for what we're trying to get accomplished offensively.
He did mention that Bowman made a lot of correct reads in the RPO game, but obviously not exactly what you're looking for if you're an OSU fan from the offense. Quickly, let's go to the defense. You mentioned it. Lots of big plays allowed against Kansas State today. Avery Johnson had a great day for the Wildcats at quarterback.
He did. The kid is showing why he could be maybe the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah.
In a conference that now is very loaded, and Kansas State now at least is in a position for themselves to maybe win the conference, or at least get into that conference championship game with 2 losses now for OSU. The question is going to be, are there enough wins in the tank to get them back?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. Avery Johnson accounting for 5 touchdowns today, by the way, for the Wildcats. DJ Giddens, their tailback, 15 carries for 187 yards and a touchdown. I'm not good at the quick math, but that's a lot of yards per carry. So that's not good either. The issue for OSU all season has been big plays, and they allowed a ton of chunk plays again, Brian Nardo's defense.
Well, what was it, almost 500 yards of offense that they gave up. They gave up a ton of first downs. Neither team was that good on third down, believe it or not, just like in the Alabama-Georgia game.
That's right.
Pretty incredible how these teams are so inefficient on third down. But for Oklahoma State, defense was the real issue today.
No doubt about that. So OSU goes to Manhattan and loses. Let's go quickly over to the Golden Hurricane. They were down in Denton, taking on North Texas. They fall tonight 52-20. TU actually led 3-0 in the second quarter. Mean Green, Kevin, scored 24 points in less than 5 minutes of game time to end the second quarter, going to the half, and then they ran away from there. A bright spot, I mentioned it to you, Regent Prep's Jack Wright scoring his first TD as a member of the Golden Hurricane, so that was pretty cool to see there at least.
I think the issue that I have for Tulsa, and I don't like it for them, is they've become a farm team now in the portal era.
Sure, yeah.
And all the good players for Tulsa probably would be gone next year to a bigger school to get more money or whatever, and so it's always going to be a reloading effort at TU.
One big takeaway from 3 games this week, anything that stood out to you the most?
I think just Oklahoma's resiliency. The defense didn't bring what we have seen them bring.
Sure, right.
Especially last week against Tennessee. But I like the fact that this Hawkins kid appears to have confidence and he's a winner. And so just from these 3 schools, OU, OSU, and Tulsa,
yes.
I would say obviously because they got the win, but how they came from behind to get the win on the road at Auburn. Very impressed with OU's resiliency.
And they get a bye week to hopefully get some guys healthy, and then they come back for OU Texas, the Red River Showdown coming up here in a couple weeks. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Fun.
OSU's at home against West Virginia next week. Tulsa's also at home. Fun one with Army. That should be a lot of fun.
Army has scored 100 more points than they've given up so far this year, 145-42.
Interesting.
And it's that option offense, and they'll throw 2 or 3 passes maybe in the whole game. Try to catch you cheating on the run and just dump one over the middle. Saw that last week in the win over Temple.
That's right.
So, yeah, excited that Army's coming to town. It'll be a good one to go watch.
Did you have fun today?
Had a great time
I'm glad
today.
you came in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was a good time.
Yeah.
We'll do that more often. That's Kevin
Got to
Ward.
meet Brenna and,
Brenna
and
Colton, good people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And he said he watches Channel 8, which
I'm
is
a
even
Channel
better.
8 guy.
And now you need to listen to the Sports Animal if you're at home.
Yeah,
So
do
there you
that,
go.
please.
There you go. Kevin, I appreciate you. We got to get to news. Brenna has a look at the news and all the headlines there, including the start of a new sport in Tulsa Public Schools, girls flag football, and Colton's here too with weather, I guess.